Alright guys, so today we're going to be coloring the map of medieval Europe. So before we start doing that, let me give you a little bit of background. So in Rome, we ended with the fall of Rome. So Rome fell for several reasons. One is, their emperors were not good. Romans stopped paying their taxes. Political leaders were tied to the will of the military because the military had so much power. And basically there was just a lot of war. There was also invasions. So some of the invasions were by Germanic tribes. Remember, Rome owned all of this land, for the most part, not over here, but like most part, Rome was like, pretty much the owner of Europe at this time. And Germanic tribes started coming in and fighting with them in different areas. And that weakened most of Rome's power. And as they tapped land and they won it, they basically settled in through all of Europe here. Another reason is that as the Germanic tribes attacked, Persians and the Persians attacked, they lost trade routes. So they took a lot of this land and they lost trade routes. And then, of course, we know the Romans made a lot of coins, and that just hurt their economy like terrible. So now what happens? Well, we have Europe, and it's kind of divided. It's split up in a lot of different groups. So the first thing that we're going to do is actually come down to this map legend here. And I'm going to grab a pen. And we're going to make 6 boxes to represent 6 different groups of people. Now, 2 of them are already made for you, but come over here and make another one. And then make another one here. And then make another one here. And here. Alright, so Europe during this time was not unified at all. There was lots of different groups that came in, which kind of explains why Europe has so many different cultures and languages and stuff spoken in here. A lot of it has to do with the fact that all these people settled in this land after they pretty much took over the land from Rome. So let's start with Rome, though, because we know this is Italy because it's shaped like the boot. We're going to label Rome because Rome is still, it's still a power. I wouldn't say it's like a world power. It wasn't an empire anymore, but Rome still had a lot of influence only because it's the home of the Pope. And in the medieval times, Christian or Catholic churches kind of take over. They actually have more power than a lot of the kings and rulers do because people believed in that so much. Sorry, I hit my light here. I'm going to turn it on. Okay, there we go. So I'm going to come down here, and Rome is right about here. So put a dot. Let me zoom in a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. Sorry. I'm trying to get this light here so I don't have a big shadow. About as good as it's going to get. That looks good. Okay, so here I'm going to label this little dot right there, Rome. R-O-M-E. I know it's hard to see. And if you don't remember, and you should, above Rome there is a mountain range. And I hope we all know, I'm going to draw them in, I hope we all know that that mountain range is the Alps. Because Hannibal crossed them with some elephants trying to attack Rome. Down here is a waterway that we all know very, very well by now because we talked about it almost every civilization we've done. And that is the Mediterranean Sea. So I'm going to label it right here. Okay, and I'm actually going to draw something down here so you kind of have a reference point because it's actually owned by one of the groups that we're going to talk about today. So I'm going to kind of draw it the best of my ability. It doesn't matter, just the top of it. There is a continent that starts right down here, and that's Africa. So we're just going to label that. Oh, that's a bad C. There we go, Africa. Okay, perfect. We are going to label a couple C's. This is actually a C right here, this area. And this is the Black Sea. Okay? Now, there are several mountain ranges besides just the Alps that we have to label. One kind of comes like right across from here to here. I'm going to draw those mountain ranges in. These mountains, I'm going to kind of label it off to the side here, are the Carpathians. Okay. Now there's more mountains, not just those. There is a mountain range that actually separates what is Spain from France. This is Spain here. This is France today. This is Portugal today, just so you have a reference point. It wasn't those countries back then. Down here, kind of separating these, there's a mountain range. This mountain range is the Pyrenees. Hope you guys can see that okay. I can try to zoom it in a little bit more. That is a very bad P. There we go. Pyrenees. And I don't know if there's any more mountain ranges. I think that might be all that we have to label as far as mountain ranges go. Okay. Coming over here. Move my... there. Coming over here. This is an actual another continent, if you don't know, which you should. This is Asia, so we're just going to label that Asia. And now we're going to label some more bodies of water. So we had the Mediterranean Sea here. Coming up here is another ocean. Hopefully we all know it. The Titanic sailed it when it left here and went to New York. It's the Atlantic Ocean. Pen's ready to go. There we go. Atlantic Ocean. Okay. Some more seas we have to label. So in between this and this, which is this is the United Kingdom here, there is a sea in the middle of this. And that is the North Sea. And label that. Alright. This body of water here that goes between France and United Kingdom today is called the English Channel. So you can see that okay. English Channel. There we go. I think we can see that. Alright. You are going to need a blue in your hand. I'm just going to use that one. Okay, so there's several rivers you have to know that we haven't labeled yet. So the first one is in what would have been England back then. And it's a little, these are going to be tiny, so just keep that in mind. Sorry about that. Right here is a little squiggly river. I'm trying to figure out how I want to draw this. These pens aren't the greatest anymore. I haven't used them for a while. I was sitting here. Okay, so that little squiggly line is a river. And that is probably the most famous river in England, and that's the Thames River. So I'm going to label it. It's T-H-A. Really hard to see with all these lines. T-H-A-M-E-S. The Thames River. Okay. And then we're going to come down to France. They're blue again. And in France, there is a little river. Well, it's not really little. It's bigger than this one. It's going to come from here and lead across France. So it starts about here. I'm going to go and go here. That is like, let me see if I can get a better pen, because that is not a good pen. I have like a million pens here, and use this one. That's better. I'll trace over this one. There we go. So that river is the most famous river in French. It's the Seine. S-E-I-N-E. I'm going to try to use that blue. S-E-I-N-E. S-E-I-N-E. I know it's hard to see because I'm writing small. S-E-I-N-E River. Okay. And the next one that we're going to do is the biggest river of all of these. And it starts here. And it's going to go across all these little countries. And these are modern day countries, just FYI. These weren't, boundary lines back then. But these are modern day countries. So starting here, I need the blue pen in my hand. Starting here, it's going to go across and hit the Black Sea. So it goes like right here. Trying to do my best here. Goes through that country. Tries down here and then towards the bottom of this one. Touches down here. And empties right in here. So sorry, it looks kind of choppy. I'll try to draw over a little bit. Alright. Good enough. This river right here is called the Danube. Let's adjust this just a little bit so I can label it D-A-N-U-B-E, the Danube River. D-A-N-U-B-E, Danube. Okay. Alright, the rest labeling we're going to need your black pen for. So, like I was telling you today when we were up here doing the Thames, this, today, all of these is called United Kingdom. This would have been England, Scotland, Ireland. Today they're all united into one country called United Kingdom. Back then they were kind of separated. There was a lot of wars, for independence between Scotland and England, Ireland and England. But England retained control. So over here, I'm going to draw a line so it's easier to see. This is England. Okay? Also known as Britain, And down here is probably the most famous city in England. And that is London. L-O-N-D-O-N. Hard for you to read because it's tiny. L-O-N-D-O-N. London. It's right below the Thames River. Okay. So in France, we're going to label that. It's France. F-R-A-N-C-E. In France, there is a city that is also very famous today. I bet you could guess it, and if I was there, I would ask, what city do you think it is? And probably a lot of you would say, Paris! And I would say, yes, you're right! It's Paris, home of the Eiffel Tower. Very famous city, even in France today. And if you can't read it, it's P-A-R-I-S. Paris. I think I got everything labeled in France. Coming up here to this country. Hold on. Sorry, somebody texted me. Okay, so coming up here to this country right here. This is today modern day Germany. The city you need to know in modern day, or well back then, would be right here, and it is called Hamburg. No, not hamburger. Hamburg. H-A-M-B-U-R-G. Alright, so now what we need to do is label the groups. So I want you to come down here first to the little boxes we made. So back then, after the fall of Rome, and I told you all these tribes came in and took over a lot of the land, the continent of Europe was pretty split up culturally. by these groups. So we're going to label these groups so you can see where all these groups are. So the first one is called the Magyars right here. Magyars, Magyars. Down here we're going to label the Celts, Celts. Here is the Franks. Here is the Vikings, which is a really cool group to study, by the way. We don't have time to focus on individual groups, but the Vikings were probably the very first people to actually discover America way before the time of Christopher Columbus. And actually, he didn't discover America, he discovered the West Indies. But you see my point. They're the first people that actually probably touched base in America. This is the Muslims. And then here we have the Anglo-Saxons. Okay? Down here we're going to go ahead and label our compass rose, because why not? We haven't really practiced much with compass rose this year. So going down here we're going to make a cross. Like that. Then we're going to make two little crosses, like an X, in the middle. Okay, so starting at the top, hopefully we know this. North, east, south, west. Okay? So these little crosses kind of combine together. So this is north and east, so the one that points in the middle is northeast. And the one that points in the middle of south and east is southeast. North and south always come first when you're combining these directions, in case you didn't know. South and west combine to make southwest. And north and west combine together to make northwest. Now we got a little handmade compass rose. Just in case you know. You never made one before. Now you did. Okay, so now you're going to need your colors. You are going to need red, blue, green, purple, yellow, orange. And like I will, these should be listed in Google Classroom for you, so I'm going to go and get them out. Red, blue. It's really hard to see in my little office at home. That's purple. Oops, I'm going to do that in a minute. That should be blue. Red, blue, green, purple, yellow, and orange for these. Where's my orange? Then I'm going to use my light blue for the water, because we're going to color water. And then you're going to need a gray, which I might have to go to the box of colored pencils. Like I said, I like pens and pencils. If you haven't noticed, which I think you probably did because you see the thing I carry with me all the time, I am a kind of a pen, pencil, marker, crayon, whatever hoarder. Okay, gray. So I'm going to need that for later too. But these ones I need right now. So red, blue, green, purple, yellow, orange. Alright, starting with red, I'm going to come down here, I want all my colored pencils, and I'm going to color this little box here red, the Magyars. We're going to label where those guys are in medieval Europe. Okay, so coming up here, move my thing. The Magyars are kind of in the middle here. I'm going to draw a circle. It's not a complete circle. It's kind of more like a call out, like a speech bubble, what it kind of looks like to me. So coming down here, and I'm going to draw like a little arrow, like double check and make sure it matches up right there, and then come up a little bit here, and then it kind of goes around these countries here. Double check and make sure I got it right. Okay. So let me make that a little bit darker so you can kind of see where the Magyars are. Okay. There's the Magyars. So inside this... Okay, trying this again. So in here, we're going to color this red. Just color it lightly so you can still see the river and everything. But this is where the Magyars were located. Okay. Next you're going to need blue, a darker blue. The lighter blue I'm going to use for the water. And we're going to color this box with the Celts blue. Celts are another one of my favorite groups. I like Celtic stuff. So there's the Celts. There's the blue. We're going to come up here and we're going to color this whole area of Ireland blue, because Ireland was very Celtic. They spoke the Celtic language. Some of it's even still used today. Look at that blue. Sorry, I got some dogs in here and there. Yeah, a little wild and crazy. And Scotland, coloring that blue. And then about half of England down here. Kind of draw a line from like here down to here. And I'm going to color that blue. Oops, I'm moving into the water. Okay, so there are the Celts. Next you're going to need your green. And coming down to the Franks, I'm going to color the box by the Franks green. Okay. This is a pretty big group of people. As you can see, the Franks sound a lot like France. Yeah, they were. Most of the France area, a little bit beyond, were the Franks. So I'm going to kind of draw a line here. Touch it down here. Put a little circle here. Touch here. And then draw up, going all the way up into Germany. And it's going to stop about here. Alright, so in those borders, touching all these borders, that's all the Franks. So we're going to color that green. Sorry, you probably can hear my family in the background. Nice day. Okay, so those are the Franks, and that is a big reason why that's called France. Okay, so the next thing you need is a purple. We're going to label where the Vikings are. So here is purple down here. Let me see if I can put this down, make it a lot easier. There we go. So this is the Vikings. That purple looks a lot like blue. It's like crazy. Oh, wait. Oh, my gosh. So the purple looks a lot like blue because I'm using blue. Oh, my gosh. Long week. Okay, so I'm going to color over that in purple. Hopefully that looks purple enough. Okay, coming up here. This is all the Icelandic type or like countries like Norway, Sweden. We're going to color that coming up here. There's a line like right here. I'm going to draw it straight down to, just making sure I stop in the right spot, to there. Alright. On this side of the line, all of this, all the way to these little squiggly borders, is the Vikings. So we're going to color that in purple. I guess it's purple. It looks very similar to blue to me. I guess I should draw a line like up here, now that I'm thinking about it. Right here. Okay, so stop there. Okay, color, color. It's really hard to color by all these squiggly little borders. I'm kind of a perfectionist too, though, so that's my fault. Color, color. Almost done with the Vikings. Here, so pretty, so pretty. Okay, Vikings are done, and I'm getting a phone call. Okay, sorry guys. So coming down here to our map, we're going to color Muslims yellow. We're going to label all the land of the Muslims. I'm not going to move the camera yet because starting with Africa, we're going to color all of that yellow. Okay. Down here in Spain/Portugal, what's called today, we're going to draw a line like from here to about here. Okay. Can you see that okay? Maybe I need to do it a little bit. Okay. So from here to here, I'm going to make that a little bit darker. Okay. Down here, we're going to color this part yellow because that's where Muslims are. Okay. And then going over here, oh, I forgot to label something. We have to label something over here too. There is a famous city right about here in the Black Sea. This is Constantinople. Today it's called Istanbul. There's a whole song written about it by an old group you probably never heard of called They Might Be Giants, and it goes, Istanbul, Constantinople. Yeah, that's where Constantinople was. So now it's not called Constantinople anymore. It is Istanbul. So over here, we're going to draw in line. Sorry about that, guys. Constantinople, if you can't see, is Constantinople. I know I have to write kind of small there. I'm going to spell it again. Constantinople. Okay. Coming over here. And remember, at any time, pause. You can have the teacher pause this. But I already let her know that, or him, whoever your substitute teacher is today. So coming over here, I'm going to draw a line that goes swooping up this way and stopping here. Okay. All of this land in here is Muslim land. So coloring all of this yellow. Okay. And one more thing we have to color. Get your orange. Coming down this. So this box here, you're going to color this yellow by Anglo-Saxons. And they are only in one specific area, and that is England. And we're going to color the other half of England orange. So as you can see, there are lots of groups of different cultures in Europe. They don't communicate with each other. They don't get along very well with each other. Trade disappears during this time. They all kind of set up their own little communities and kind of just coexist with each other. Okay, now we're going to color water. So you are going to need, I'm doing my light blue. I think it's called sky blue if you're using color pencils. But there's a lot of watercolor. So I'm going to start down here. You don't have to do it perfect. You can just shade. That's what I'm doing. I'm just shading. Make sure you don't color the land, but shade. Okay, I gotta flip my color pencil around. Starting to wear out. Turn this a little. You can't see it, but I did turn it. I just colored grease by accident. Don't color up here. Oh, my husband's talking really loud in the background. Sorry about that. It's going to be a busy day here. Oops. Coming over here. Color the blue right there. I am like really coloring messy and I don't mean to, but sorry. Okay, coming up here. We're going to color a lot of this. Blue. Blue, 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 blue. The North Sea is blue. So pretty. And this is all blue. This is all water going in through here. So we're going to color blue. And I'm just not trying not to color the little islands and stuff because they don't matter. But all of this is blue here. All the way up to here. And up here. The Atlantic Ocean. And color all this blue. Blue, blue, blue. Trying to talk loud because my husband doesn't seem to understand that I'm recording, and he's just talking loud. I hope he's not. I don't even know what he's talking about, but I hope it's not super loud because I don't really want to record this whole video again. You know, it's pretty long. So here we go. All the way up through here. Is blue. This is blue in here. As you can see, I'm not coloring perfectly because if I did color perfectly, it would take up a lot of time. And my blue is starting to run out. Just the color up here. And that should be all the blue. Man, I really did a messy job right here. Try to make that look a little bit better. I don't know if I can, but we'll see. That's alright. It's gonna be what it is. Okay, the last thing you're gonna need is the gray. Okay? And I'm just gonna use this to very lightly gray out the land we're not talking about here. So we're not confused. Just make your map look better than I have a whole bunch of white. I don't like white. So anywhere that's white, just going to gray it out. So again, doesn't have to be perfect or beautiful, just gray it out as best you can. Coming over here, coloring that gray. And then over here. Beautiful, and Asia, of course, we're not talking about Asia. Getting in these little cracks and stuff as best I can. And then shade this, and this, and this. Oh, I forgot to color the Black Sea blue. Oops. Get your blue real quick. Forgot the Black Sea. What's wrong with me? Color that blue, not black. I know somebody's going to say, can we color black because it's called Black Sea? Nope. Can't. Blue. It's water. Okay. Going back to my gray. Sorry about that. And we're going to color the rest of this. Gray shading in over here. And these little pieces of land here. Okay, I think we are done. Your map should look, a little bit better there. Your map should look like this when you are done. Zoom out a little bit. Come on, focus. This is what your map should look like with your key and everything on the bottom. Okay, so now I think you know the drill. You are going to, let me see if I can just open it really quick. Mine's in Drive, but you're going to go to Google Classroom. Oh, I need my password. Okay, now I'm going to go to my folder. Hold on a second. Just going to take me a minute. Okay. I think it's slide 5. Yep. Okay. So what you're going to do is you're going to go to Insert, Image, Camera. In case you didn't remember, you're going to take a picture of this map and add it here. Crop it down so it's just the map, so you don't see backgrounds or your hand holding it or whatever. Make sure it's just the map. You can crop out. Let me go back to this. You can crop out all of this extra stuff so you can actually hold it here to take the picture. You don't need all this extra, white stuff. You just need this basic and this black part. So you can crop it down to just that, add your picture, keep the map just in case you have trouble reading the picture on your screen, but make sure you add it to your notebook so that I can give you a grade for doing it. Okay, after this, your teacher should have a video for you to watch, just kind of explaining what we're going to be doing starting on Thursday with Medieval Europe. So after that, if you have any extra time, you can work on anything that you are late on for me, like anything in your Rome notebook, brochures, I'm still missing a few. If you are done with all of that, then you can work on something for another class, or you can read or play Prodigy. Not playing games. All right? Okay. I hope you have a good day. I will see you tomorrow, and be good.